Right on.
Fucking stupid. It's all stupid. Welcome to Browns Out of Town. This is not the wide receivers episode. Good job for us checking it. It's officially our running backs episode. Sorry that it has been a couple weeks. Life gets out of hand. We start new jobs. COVID was still happening. And it seemed really weird to do an episode when we didn't even know who was showing up last week, and it changed every other day. So
Yeah, anything we would have reported on would have been inaccurate by the time this episode got out. So
yeah,
makes sense.
literally, it was like Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday when I texted Jimmy and was like, "Hey, maybe we should wait." And it was mostly like I didn't prepare anything, and like all this stuff was happening. And then it was like 2 days later, everything we would have talked about would have been wrong
Yeah, it all
except for the
changed.
running backs. So
Yep.
that's good. Everything seems to have leveled out pretty much by now, though. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it seems
So
like they
this
have a plan in place, and it's actually seems to be working for now. But we'll see what happens.
hard air quotes a plan.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's working because I don't even know if it's in here, but like that story about Odell coming out saying he didn't feel comfortable being there, that came out 2 weeks ago, or he was interviewed for 2 weeks ago before he was
Right.
even in there, and now he says he's all for it. So like they must be doing at least a good enough job in Cleveland uh,
Yeah.
for it to feel safe, because he
Yeah.
was like, I watched that roundtable thing with him, and he was all about like the whole like these guys are rushing us back. I don't feel comfortable thing. Like that's what half of that was about.
Right.
And I mean, now he's all in, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. JC Treader came out today or yesterday too and said that he's very happy with what the Browns are doing at least, and he's working with the rest of the PA to make sure the other teams are doing just as well as the Browns are. So it sounds like they're setting the bar.
And we're jumping the gun again a little bit, but like David Njoku is all in Cleveland now too. So the new regime must be something cool or
Yeah,
something
once they
special that
actually
they
start
believe in.
hanging out with these guys, they're leaving their impression. So that's good. Good news.
I mean, and if you have a happy Odell Beckham Jr., which I mean, that's never happened. Like, love the guy, but he's never been happy in an NFL season, so that's
Right.
good.
Yeah.
That can't hurt to happen.
Yep.
Um, we skipped the intro. Come on, we're rusty.
We're eager. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. We had to get to it.
We're good to get in here. We didn't even know what time we were doing this, so we're a little off guard here. Point of the podcast: everything Browns, just not their town. We want to stay in touch with the Browns, even though we're not in Cleveland. If this is your first episode, congratulations. If it's not, welcome to being six people. Um, Social media, make sure that you follow at Browns Out of Town. That's where more updated stuff is. That's where we're gonna be posting all the cool stuff. I sent Jimmy a picture of my favorite Browns player last week, so we're gonna put him up at some point because I think he's the most hilarious looking human being. Make sure that you rate, review, subscribe, reach out at the social media, hit the support tab if you like it for some reason. And then the most important thing, if you listen with your children, just know we might swear every once in a while. We're Browns fans. That's how we deal with life. And it's going to happen, but it's not going to be anything egregious. What is new with you, Mr. Crawford?
Nothing much. Nothing right now. Just working. Baby's getting big. She's gonna be
How's
crawling
the pizza business?
crazy. It's good. It's booming. The quarantine's helping, but it's good.
Worst pizza in America.
Yeah, not a fan.
It's just one of those like you grow up with like a bad franchise near you, and then like it ruins it forever. Like everywhere else they're like pretty good, but the one in Perrysburg was trash when I was growing up.
Yeah, I worked across the street from that at the bank from that location. I never had it while I was down there, so I can't vouch for it. But
It was, I mean, it wasn't good because a lot of times like how like, and we're not gonna say the brand because I don't want you to get fired, but like how like they have the athletic booster kind of pizza where it's cheaper made, so they'll like make more for cheaper, and that's just what they were the ones who did that. So like that's probably why is I've
not the
never
best
had
product.
real
Yeah,
pizza.
it's being put out right.
But that's exciting. I started my new job, so it's been a hell of a week already. Like every single person has said, like, "Hey, good luck learning all this stuff." Like it's a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm like, after 2 days, I was like, it's not that much stuff. And today is when it kind of hit. And I'm like, Jesus fuck. And I've been like doing mics, and I've
Yeah,
been working like a bar backing thing on the weekend to like keep money, and it's just you're like, all right, cool. Like that's enough of that.
yeah.
but it's a cool job so far.
That's good.
Yeah, I'll give you. I'm not going to give you stock tips, but I'm going to tell you to buy their stock after this because
Sounds
uh,
good.
they it's gangbusters. I already told like my buddy Dylan's been day trading just as a hobby, and he made $20 on it just like in like the few hours that he had it.
Pretty
Like
good.
it's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty good. I was doing that for like a couple days, and then it got to be too much, and I just moved everything to crypto. But
that's smart.
actually, I'm
Bitcoin,
officially out of the stock market and 100% crypto right now as of
Bitcoin's
today.
up today, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit, but
This is Browns out of town where you come for your Bitcoin
oh yeah,
pricing,
our
and
crypto. It's our
it's at
crypto.
11.7.
I need to
Yeah,
hit 12, but
is that when you have like your automatic? It doesn't matter. That
when I
has
make
nothing
my
to do with
fees
the
back.
podcast.
12. It increases my value by $3. But
Jeez.
let's get back to
All right.
football. Crypto's
Yeah,
boring.
let's do football. Since it's been a couple weeks, there's been a lot of shit that happened. We never covered the Washington football team, did we?
Mm-mm. No,
The official,
it happened. I
unofficial
think it happened
name.
like the day after we launched our last episode.
It must have been.
Yeah,
I actually like. I saw the helmets that came out
yeah, I like
today. I
them.
saw a couple pictures. I like it. I like the color scheme. It was like an outside of the box idea to just be
Yeah,
like the Washington football team. It's not as cool as like the Red Hawks or the Red Wolves or whatever the
yeah.
fuck it was going to be, but
I
it
mean,
was still
it sounds like this is a 1 year thing. You know, it's just a temporary stopgap until they can really pump out the rest and get by this the rest of the scandal going on inside the organization.
yeah, they had 3 days to come up with a new
Yeah,
branding and make new uniforms and everything, and they made it the best idea possible. And
yeah.
I mean, the scandal that came out wasn't that huge. I mean, yes, it's bad, but it wasn't that big of a scandal. I mean, it's fine. Like it's
Yeah.
you
I
expect
mean, I
that at
guess
the
it could have been
Redskins.
worse, but it was pretty bad.
hmm I mean, you never want to make light of like that kind of situation, but it's also like from the way it was being talked about, they're like, this is gonna shake the NFL, and you're like, well, this is just like
Yeah,
normal.
the hype was definitely a little bit overblown.
Yes, very much
Probably
so.
part of Pat McAfee, but
100% Pat McAfee. Now that I have a job and he's off this week, I like have not watched anything. So I feel like I've been listening to ESPN Daily again. It's been kind of it plays into our next point about coronavirus. Like the one today was about how like the Pac-12 players like basically came out and said they're not going to play unless they like
really,
meet all these guidelines. And I think that came out a couple days ago where they're like it needs to hit social justice points. They want to get paid at some point, like they want to like figure that out, and
yeah,
they want like there's no sort of anything set up for like a program for COVID. And they're like, we're not going to play unless we do
yeah.
this. And it's like a whole united front.
They don't get the attention out there anyway, so it's not like they'll be missed.
Yeah, and that's like everybody. I mean, is UCL or not UCLA? They're in it, but like USC's definitely in it still.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
Oregon.
not anything big anymore, but
Yeah, but they have the most potential out of that conference. But I saw the Big Ten release their new schedule today, and they moved the Michigan game up a month. It's like at the end
to
of
when?
October now. I think it's the 24th of October.
Well,
It's
they're
like a
only
whole month.
playing in the
No, playing,
conference, right?
yeah, like 10 game or I don't even know how many games it is. I think it's a 10 game schedule, but maybe not.
That's the weird thing is like everybody here is like they always talk about like tailgating and you just like assume that it's Buckeyes games because you're used to 30 years of like whenever
Right.
somebody's talking about tailgating for college, that's where they're going. They'd be like, no, we're going to see the Badgers. And it's like, like you want to go see them lose? Why would you want to go tailgate for that?
Right.
Um, but speaking of players opting out, there was a bunch of players who opted out, and this is kind of what I wanted to wait for. Um, before we did this is to kind of let everything settle down a little bit.
Think
Not
for wave through.
really. Yeah, I mean, not really anybody super big like did.
Yeah, I know the Pats had a bunch, but and
They had
they had a
8.
couple. Yeah, they had a couple notable ones. But the Browns got lucky. You know, nobody really opted out that was of any measure.
Andrew Billings, Jimmy,
Who? Yeah,
Colby Gossett,
Passed. I'm good.
And then my boy, the only reason why I saw him is he was on this list is Drake Dorbeck. He is an unsigned free agent out
Undrafted.
of yeah, undrafted, sorry, out of Southern Miss, and he played tackle, and he is hilarious looking. Like he looks like he's from Southern Miss.
Yeah, I saw your picture.
Dude, he's great. Like I changed my
Opted out.
profile picture to him.
He opted out. He's not even going to be on the team this year.
No, like how do you come in as like an undrafted free agent rookie and you're like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna sit out.
you're probably not going to find much information on the guy if he's not going to play and he's undrafted. But I'm assuming there's some medical history in his family or something that's
Six
that
seven
improved.
three
But
17, born on April or not April, October 7th. Um, he's from Vicksburg, Mississippi, but yeah, I don't know the rest of the story. I'm sure somebody
that's
knows
gonna be a
something
tough
about him.
decision though. If you're undrafted, you get like a make or break deal with the Browns, and then just be like, "Ah, I can't.
Six
Maybe I'll come
seven
back
three
next year."
seventeen. He just probably he probably showed up from the look of his picture. I'm just assuming a lot from his picture, but like he showed up and he's like, "There's an awful lot of black guys here," and then he just decided to stay home.
That could be it. Yeah,
Or his deal sucked and he got the 150 G's. Like because
yeah. Maybe it
if
was
you
a pay. Maybe it was an increase in pay there. Yeah,
yeah, and I mean that's why I'm gonna opt out from the NFL season. I'm officially saying it. I want my 150 G's for opting out for no medical reason.
yeah. And I want my refund for my season tickets too.
Are they not doing it?
I don't know. I think so, but I just saw
They
people
have
asking for
to.
refunds that aren't season ticket holders on Reddit. So
But I mean, so that's what it like a lot of players, and I mean, it's 150 grand for the year if you don't have like a medical reason or a family reason. Like that guy who's the doctor for like Baltimore or whatever team he was on,
Tennessee.
um, Tennessee, he gets 350 because he's like a doctor and shit like that. Like he gets 350 grand if you have a reason. But like everybody else gets 150, which I mean for a lot of these guys is probably not a lot
Yeah.
because what's the league minimum right now?
I don't know. I feel like I knew what it was in baseball, but I don't think I know what it is in football.
Well, I mean this year it's 150,000 because you just stay. Um, it is 810,000. So I mean that's still a lot, or like that's even low.
Yeah.
I mean, you're taking a cut, but I mean 150 grand to do nothing really isn't that bad,
Right. And I mean, his contract's not guaranteed anyway. Drake's,
right?
being an
And
undrafted free agent. So
most of them are gonna. I mean, and
yeah.
that's kind of the list. Is I mean, it's not a lot of big names, but I mean, it's a decent amount of people. Damian Williams for Kansas City is a big one. Drew Forbes is actually a decent. I mean, he wasn't gonna be. He wasn't gonna do it. Nate Solder's a big one. Um, but I don't know. I mean, it's not gonna be. I think it's gonna be fine. Like you're gonna see people going in and out because I don't know if I added it to the thing, but like the official date now I think is Friday for the official opt out forum. That they finally agreed on. It was supposed to be last Wednesday, which
Yeah.
like they extended another week.
So
But
Friday
like
the 7th. Yeah.
yeah, so but the biggest thing is like you can see with the MLB, like how are they gonna like Giannis or how do you say his name? Cespedes. I know his
Linus
last name.
Cespedes. Yeah.
He just decided after like 5 or 6 games, like he's packing up and going home and opting out. Like, how are
Yeah.
they going to do that with the NFL?
I don't know. And there was another one, a guy that opted out who came back for the Braves. I can't remember what his name was, but he was like, you know what, I'm coming back. Everything looks fine.
I don't think that. I think in the NFL you can't come back. Like that's the
Oh,
one thing for
yeah,
sure
I
is you
don't think
can't
so.
come. Which it's almost like you don't because I didn't look to see if they're expanding the like DL, the like the injured reserve because I know they have like a shorter one for when the people get sick and all that. But I
Yeah,
don't know if you could like come back and then be on that injured
I
reserve
think
list and
I
then
saw
kind
that
of
you can
scope
have
it out.
unlimited people come back from that list.
Then
And
why wouldn't you just come back and be like, I'll be on the injured reserve
I think you
just
have
in
to test
case?
positive to. You have to have a reason to be on it. You can't just opt out and be on the IR. You have to, test positive for COVID. Like they had Garrett Gilbert and the punter Jamie, what's his face, guy with long hair, what's Gillum,
Gillen.
Jamie Gillum. He they tested positive and they got now they tested negative, so they're back. But
Well, that's because the fucking punters out at Ohio City bars all the time.
yeah,
I mean, which is kind of cool. Like you just show up and you see them hanging out.
yeah,
But you have on here Dontrell Hilliard and Javante Moffett are both on it. They're still on it, right?
they're probably back off by now. I think I put that on there before we
Okay.
canceled last week's episode, but I would assume they're back by now.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of this other stuff. I mean, everybody showed up. Everybody's looking good.
Yeah, not
Njoku's
too much news coming out of Browns camp, so I think good news is or no news is good news. But,
it's good. I think it's
yeah.
good. I mean, I put it on the end of the thing. They released the pictures of like the big guys in the uniforms, and the uniforms look better than I thought they would.
Yeah, they look good.
Baker's not smiling, so he's all business.
Yeah.
I don't know, like that's gonna be Colin Cowherd's line the whole time. It's like, good Baker.
So something will come out tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see it tomorrow from Cowherd because I think Baker's picture just got posted like an hour ago. So
Yeah, it was right before recording here on whatever day it is, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
All right, you want to hit? I mean, we might as well make it a pretty quick one. Want to hit the reason for the episode here?
Sure. Yeah, it's a running backs episode. We're going to talk about Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt today. So first of all, we have the star running back for the Browns, Nick Chubb, or Nicholas Jamal Chubb, as Ray likes to refer to him as.
Kareem Hunt might have. I mean, I'm jumping the gun again. He might have an all-star middle name.
Yeah, it's interesting.
All right, we'll get there because that's the best part of these exercises. The middle names are just so interesting, and this has to be the dumbest middle name.
Yeah,
the dumbest one. But we'll get there.
Nick Chubb, Georgia Bulldog. Interesting fact that I didn't add to the sheet is that he's from Chubbtown, Georgia, which is named for his grandfather.
No, he is not.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's something to do with I think it's like something to do with like reform slavery or something, but I forget. I should have looked into it a little more. But I thought that was.
Did he actually get his 40 acres and a mule and like make the town after himself?
I don't know. I didn't do that much research. I just saw that the town he's from is named for his grandfather.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So he played 16 games in 2018. He only started 9 of them, and he started the games after Carlos Hyde was traded. If you remember that season, that was when Dorsey traded Carlos Hyde because Hugh Jackson wouldn't do anything with him when he should have been.
But we also didn't need 3 running backs.
Right. Yeah. Because was Duke Johnson on the team yet, or we traded?
Yeah, it was Duke Johnson, Carlos Hyde, and Nick Chubb, and Carlos Hyde he was the third best. Like he wasn't great.
No. So he rushed for 996 yards with 8 touchdowns. It's just
Thanks,
great
Greg Williams.
It's like what would he have done if he started all 16? He could have been a Pro Bowler there too.
But also, why didn't they run him with 996? I mean, I remember when he went over the 1,000.
They did.
And then
he had 1,000, and then he went negative. Yeah, I forgot about that.
But like they didn't give him the ball the rest of it. Like they were already losing that game. Give him the ball. Get him the 4 yards again.
Yeah. 20 receptions for 149 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's not his strong suit. He didn't have any turnovers the entire season. And then he had the longest rushing touchdown in Browns history against the Falcons in Week 10 for 92 yards.
Electric run.
Great run. Yep. Yeah. So given the different variables given throughout that season, it was a pretty good season for his rookie year.
It was a good season by any means for a running back in the NFL who's a rookie. On a team that just completely switched offensive coordinators halfway through the season, and who we found out last year had a garbage offensive line. It's a great season.
Yeah. Underrated highlight of the 2018 season was the moment in Hard Knocks when he's in the airport and Baker Mayfield walks by and all the cameras are following Baker, and Nick Chubb just like looks around like nobody knows who I am. This is great.
He was the steal of the draft that year. I mean, 100%. It's
first round pick because we got him with the 33rd pick.
Something like that. Yeah. And I mean, you got to hold on to him. I feel like, we talked about it in our first episode of like, how long will people stick with the Browns? How long will they like wait on it? Like we already have Miles for ever now, and then like we might as well lock down Nick Chubb as soon as we get it. Like Baker, fine. Like I want him. He's my quarterback. I think he'll be great. We'll see after this year. But like if you have like a defensive stopper and one of the best running backs in the league. Who like always who keeps getting shown like they did like the top 8 running backs in the league, and he didn't like hit that list. And it's
Yeah,
like you can't name 8 running backs
he
better
was
than
he was second this year in rushing yards last year. I think
yeah to Derrick Henry.
we'll follow up on
Um,
that in a minute, but
and it
yeah,
was close
um,
like most of the season.
yeah. I mean, he had it. He should have had it. He dwindled off towards the end of the season. We can blame that on play calling, but
I mean, you definitely could because he should have had it because they should have
yeah.
ran the ball twice as much.
Do you lock up Nick Chubb before you lock up? Because I think Baker has an extra year in his contract and his rookie deal than Nick Chubb will, right? Being a second round pick.
Well, then you're looking at like if he's gonna like Dak Prescott it and be a big diva about it, like you're looking at Ezekiel Elliott,
Yeah,
Dak Prescott. But I mean, I feel ask me at the end of this season, I
yeah,
would say going into this season, yes, 100%. Because I mean, even though he fumbled the ball, what like 3, 4 times last year in
yeah.
bad situations, the dude
That
doesn't count.
you can't hold the Patriots game against them though. That was ridiculous. Those
I
fumbles
know,
were not, that that was the bulk of his turnovers was the Patriots game last year.
right? But like he doesn't give up the ball.
Yeah,
Dude's guaranteed 1,000 yards every season. You just hand him the ball, he's gonna get 3, 4, 5 yards every time.
yeah,
Like hand him the ball. He's not a bad pass blocker. Teach him how to catch a ball out of the backfield. I mean, he's unstoppable. Like
yeah.
lock him down.
It's just hard though. Running backs are so risky. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm a big Nick Chubb fan. Don't get me wrong, but just paying these guys is tough. But
Well, I think having a guy
Chubb
that's
doesn't get a
like
good one this often, so I guess I am leaning towards lock him up because we don't get these guys.
being this big and this fast against defenses that have to be small and fast
True.
now, like
True. Yeah, it's changing. Yeah, once you get into secondary, he's gone. These guys are so skinny. Look at Greedy Williams.
yeah, and he's not gonna. I mean, he's not Christian McCaffrey where he's 5'4" and he's gonna like zip
Yeah,
through the whole defense.
yeah.
Like he's
He's an
gonna
old
run
guy.
people over, but he's got the moves too.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. 2019 started all 16 games. He rushed for 1,494 yards, 8 touchdowns. He came in second for most rushing yards in the league, right behind, like we said earlier, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry rushed for 1,540 yards, so he's just a little bit behind him. And
Okay,
like we
give
said,
him the goddamn ball and get him 6 yards
I
to
know.
get him
Yep,
1,500 yards.
yep, yep. 36 receptions for 278 yards and no passing touchdowns. He made the Pro Bowl in 2019 as well. So good season. You wish some of the play calling on Freddie's end would have been different and gotten him an extra 100 yards on the season to win the title. But
And
it's what
here's
it
the
is.
big thing is when I saw that number, I was even more mad about how they didn't run him. Because in the opportunities, like did we get how many rushes he had? It wasn't anywhere near enough. Like I don't
Oh,
know what
no, I didn't include it.
but it's not like he got almost 1,500 yards rushing. The guy who like destroyed the league, like Derrick Henry was Tennessee's entire offense. Like
Right.
like everything else was fine around him, but they made it to the playoffs. They made it far into the playoffs, and he only got 60 less yards. Like what are we doing? Like why wouldn't you rush him as much? And they
Yeah.
ran Derrick Henry 1,000 times.
People will argue that, well, he's splitting time with Kareem Hunt. But if you look at Kareem's stats, he wasn't really. I mean,
He didn't even play until game 9.
he played in 8 games. And, yeah, but he didn't have the yardage that would make up that you don't say that Nick would have had more than that, but I don't know.
Right.
And then last thing I have on there is he's rated a 92 in Madden this year, which I think is underrated.
Yeah.
What did
Did we look up Derrick Henry's? Henry.
I want to say he's a 94 because McCaffrey's
Derrick
a
Henry's a 93. Nick
okay.
Chubb's a 92. McCaffrey's a 99.
Yeah.
Saquon's a 91.
Is there anybody in between Derrick Henry and McCaffrey in the upper 90s?
Keep it open. Screaming. Running backs. No. McCaffrey at 99, Henry at 93, Chubb at 92, Zeke at 92, Saquon at 91. Dalvin Cook is 91, so I think that's good for us.
Yeah, that is a pretty good spot for him then, I guess. If you're not going to have anybody above a 93 other than McCaffrey.
Aaron Jones is a 90. Like Green Bay's running attack is that good?
He's barely a running back, but okay, sure.
Joe Mixon with a crazy right hook at an 89.
The right hook. Yeah,
God, he does not get enough. I mean, Ray Rice, of course, all-star of beating people, but
right.
Joe Mixon got lucky that he did it in college, I guess. Because that was a brutal video.
I don't think I've seen that. I've seen him punch guys in like an actual game, but I don't think I've seen that.
Do yourself a favor and
Okay.
it'll ruin like when he came out of college, I was like, this dude is insane. Like somebody's going to have to pick him, but
Yeah,
what round do you pick somebody who just
where you take that risk.
destroys people? Yeah, like when when Baker took the hit from the cops, it made me like him more.
Yeah,
But when this dude, I was like, oh shit, how do you draft this guy? Like
yeah,
it's that bad.
yeah. He
Speaking
went
of guys who probably shouldn't hit women ever,
yeah.
let's get to Kareem Hunt.
Kareem AJ Hunt.
What the dumbest middle name? What,
I looked it up like it doesn't. It's not even an abbreviation for anything, as far as I can tell. It's just AJ.
that's hilarious. Like I think that's the best one.
It's
Just for no reason.
yeah. So Kareem Hunt, former Toledo Rocket from Cleveland, Ohio.
TOLEDO. The
Former Kansas
dumbest
City
chant.
Chiefs. He was released from the Kansas City Chiefs in November of 2018 after a videotape of him physically assaulting a woman in a Cleveland. Was it at the Nine?
It was the nine.
Was it? Yeah.
Because that was
Uh,
the big deal, is that the nine was supposed to like be one of those hotels that nothing got out of,
yeah.
and
Right.
somehow TMZ got the video of it.
Yeah. Only the Johnny Manziel stuff stays hidden. The Kareem Hunt stuff gets leaked. Yeah.
Johnny Manziel stays. The rumor is LeBron had a room there for all of his the
Oh,
rumor is the Cavs like had their own floor there for
yeah.
like whatever.
Yeah.
So shout out to the
Um,
nine, I guess.
so he's the video shows him kicking a woman on the ground as they're exiting the elevator. I thought it was a pretty weak kick myself. I mean, he shouldn't do it. Don't get me wrong. He shouldn't have done it, but I thought it was a pretty weak kick.
I think he got in more trouble for it was to me he like was going after her. Like the only reason it wasn't worse was because
Yeah.
his dude was holding him back.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Absolutely.
that was scarier to me than the kick itself. Um, but I mean, that's also why you don't hang out with chicks from Kent State. I mean, it never ends out well.
Was she from Kent State? I didn't know that.
I'm like 97% sure.
Probably. Yeah.
I mean, it does. I mean, it's not funny, but I mean, whatever. Everybody. It was a bad situation. It's one of those like you don't want to end up
Yeah.
being in that situation.
Yeah. For sure. Shouldn't have done it. And
And
then
then, yeah, go ahead.
he's was it before this 2018 season or 2019 season? It was the 2019 season. Yeah.
It was the 2019 season because it was like in training camp
Yeah.
or like right before.
Arrested for a small possession amount for possessing a small amount of marijuana in his backpack in Rocky River, which I mean it's Rocky River, so kind of
Yeah,
happens.
I mean, isn't that the home of Ted Mosby?
Yeah, I think it is. Are you looking that up?
I'm actively looking it up right now. It was either Rocky River or it was yes the one Shaker Heights.
Shaker, yeah. Shaker's also the setting of a TV show on Hulu Rose watches. It's like about racist white people.
Yeah, Ashley watched it too. She likes it a lot. Josh Radner grew up in Columbus.
What did I see him in
Uh,
the other day? There was something I was watching. I was like, that's Ted Mosby. I can't remember what
is
it was.
it the Apothecary show that he was in?
No, it wasn't even like a show. It was, I mean, it was a show, but it wasn't something that he was like in. He's just in the background. I'll have to pull up stuff later. But 2019 stats, because he did end up playing in 2019. He played 8 games. He started 3 of them. They must have used the pistol formation to get him and Nick Chubb both starts on that, which I kind of like. I hope we see more of that.
I like the idea. I want a 2-back set. Like that's the one thing that I want. 2-back set on third down where you
Yeah.
have like a draw where you have to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it just seems weird that they would use that to start the game with, to register a start for him, but that's for education play calling, I guess.
He's like, do you know what's gonna blow their mind?
Two back sets on first
Fucking
down.
yeah, like we're gonna run the triple option. Like it's gonna be insanity.
Yep. Hey, watch this. Yeah. So he rushed for 179 yards with 2 touchdowns. He caught 37 passes for 285 yards and 1 touchdown. It's pretty obvious he should play a bigger game or a bigger part in the passing game this year. As long as he's on
Put
the
him
field.
in the slot.
And then 87 in Madden 21, which I think is appropriate. If not, actually a little bit overrated. But
yeah, I think the more that we look at, I mean, I think in our Madden episode, I said anything about 2 points off is about fine. I think he should be like an 84, 85.
Yeah, that makes
he
sense.
hasn't done anything. But
yeah, I mean, I hope we see him in the slot. I hope you see him in the passing game. It makes sense. Guy can catch.
who's the third running back? Hilliard was, right?
Hilliard. Yeah. Yeah, he's still
I mean, and he's a pretty solid backup too. Like, I mean, we've got a good backfield. I mean, especially we talked about it in episode 1 as well. Stefanski likes to lead with the play action, which I think our team is very well set up for it. I think we've got like the perfect backfield for it. So, I mean, I think it's going to be a big year for the offense if they play football.
Big if. Yep.
The next thing on there is talking about the Angel Miguel Vasquez Jr. Memorial Fantasy Football League. It's just a lot of words.
It's a mouthful. But
where would you draft either Kareem Hunt or it's not in here, but where would you draft Nick Chubb and or Kareem Hunt? Would you?
It's a good question.
Do you think he's a first round? I mean, you don't pick a running back in the first round anymore, but is he in that first group of running backs?
I always pick for running backs in the first round, depending where I'm at. What do you take? You take a quarterback in the first round?
I mean, I would take McCaffrey first. Like he's in the first round running back.
First overall pick, but like first round it's a long round.
I mean, maybe, but you would want to.
I think I took Nick Chubb in the first round last year in my league.
But I don't know. That seems like
I think I took him fourth. I think I took him 4th overall, if I remember right. But
it turned out fine. But that's a homer pick. You have to know that that's a homer pick.
I take most of the time. I take best available running back first round because they're not as deep as wide receivers, and then I'll pick up a quarterback whenever.
But a dominant wide receiver is somebody you want to pick up quicker.
It depends. I don't know.
I mean, this year it's got to be like McCaffrey, Lamar. Maybe Derrick Henry if you're counting touchdowns, because I mean they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna be able to throw the ball.
What wide receiver are you taking up front then? If you're not going to take Nick Chubb in the first round, because you got to fill out the order. With Kyler Murray though.
Yeah, I like that offense a lot.
I don't know.
I'm
taking Nick Chubb.
Pat Mahomes. We forgot Patrick Mahomes.
True.
Like he's up there.
Okay. Yeah.
The entire Kansas City offense, that new cat that they got from LSU, he's going to be – I could see him scoring more points in fantasy than Nick Chubb this year. Not being a better back, but scoring more.
We should have a fantasy episode. We should go deep into this because I haven't really done much research on it yet. But
that's something –
should probably start doing that.
A couple weeks on that, yeah, because I'm fucking – my brain's already fried.
I know.
Talk to the people about Reddit because I'm old and I don't do Reddit.
I added a Reddit page, the Brown subreddit. They took down my post, so I started my own.
So if you're on 4chan or 8chan learning about how Q's going to save us, stop on Buy Browns Out of Town Reddit.
So they won't let you shill your own podcast in their subreddit, so I said screw them.
What a stupid fucking thing. I've got for like other podcasts and like other dumb shit that I do.
I posted it and it was down within like 2 seconds.
Like I put up like a thing for podcasts and they're like,
they must have a filter for like YouTube links or something. I don't know.
Instantly, like, and I did that for like a comedy podcast, and like somebody instantly messaged me. They're like, "Yeah, there's a different subreddit for this," and I was like, "All right, Reddit's too much work at this point." So,
yeah,
but for like the annals of the internet, so that's exciting. If you like Reddit, do that.
Yeah, check out the Instagram post for the link. I won't say it over here because it's too much to type out, but I have an Instagram post about it you can check out.
hit us up for the fantasy football league. I don't want to
Yeah.
have to text other people to do it because that'd be embarrassing if it's just me and Jimmy playing each other with like the worst thing.
Yeah. We all have
Maybe
fun
we'll try to get a
each.
celebrity guest in here. I don't know. I'll text a couple people to see if they want to be in it. And then get us as the social medias, like Jimmy said, at Browns Out of Town. I have my own stupid little comedy album thing coming out whenever the distributor wants to release it. I did this cool thing where I had an entire Friday open, and instead of doing anything useful, I sat and went through hours of my comedy recordings for
Wow.
bits that I'll never be able to do again because of like where they were at or some subject matter and stuff like that. And I was like, fuck it. Like, and I looked it up. It was $30 to make your own album and have
That's
it
not bad.
distributed everywhere. Right. So like I edited it all. So it's like self-written, self-produced, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, you don't want anybody owning you, you know? Like you got to own your own content.
100%.
Yeah.
Have you watched that Bill Burr?
I've been listening to him lately, so
Yep.
that's probably what it is.
100%.
I was listening to
like, you want
him before we started this, actually. Yeah.
Yep. So that's his,
McAfee's not on, so I need to listen to something else. I started get back into Bill Burr.
he has been on that for like a few weeks of like own everything that you do. So I was just like, and that like I paid the $30 up front just so I wouldn't have to give like a slice to anybody else. So I was like, fuck it, like it's mine. If anybody wants it before, like I have it, it's sitting there. But the distributor like takes forever. I've been waiting since Friday. I mean, I guess it's not that long, but I didn't know it was going to take that long. So
Right.
it'll be out eventually, hopefully by the time this comes out, which is probably tomorrow. But so it probably won't be ready. So anything else, Jimmy?
No, that's it. The barbecue
All
page
right.
has been lackluster lately because I've been busy, but I'm going to try to do something this weekend. So check that out at Beers Bourbon Barbecue. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, whoisrayroberts.com will have a link to the stupid comedy album. I'm starting to do shows again if you're in Wisconsin, so that'll be fun. Shout out to, let me look up her name. Shout out to Amanda at the Supercuts in Waukesha. If you ever want to get your hair cut for a reasonable price, do it there. And it's a Supercuts, and it looks really good for a Supercuts haircut. So
There you go. Nice.
yeah, save yourself some money. Beard by Ray Roberts. I need to do a little bit more work. But all right, Browns Out of Town. Rate, review, subscribe. Hit us up on the social media. And go Browns.
Go Browns.
Football!